Hi folks, I wanted to talk to you for a second about a subject that I see quite often, that we fail to do with our horses. I'll put it that way. And what I'm referring to is, I've got a video on my Facebook page right now talking about the fear that white horse that I'm working with has in him. I think that horse is 15 years old. I'm pretty sure that fear's been in him for probably 12, 13 years. It's in there very deep. I don't know how it got in there. I'm speculating that it was very rough, poor handling, and now he's come to me and I'm working with him trying to alleviate some of the fear and put back some of the confidence. Once a horse gets to that point, you're never going to get them as good as they once could have been because you have broken their trust, and the horses typically will never turn loose to us and give us their all once we break their trust. We can get them pretty darn good, and most people may never know that those spots are in there, but if you're educated in doing this kind of stuff, you will always feel those spots in there. And that's one example I wanted to point out. So I don't know why, number one, some people buy those horses that have issues. This lady bought the horse that had those issues. And I'm pretty sure that most people that I deal with, that's how they get those type horses. They buy them, maybe the horses were drugged, all that stuff is just terrible. It's hard to believe that there's people in the horse industry that are that crooked, but unfortunately, that is the case. But not always. So that lady bought that problem, and like I said, it's going to take a long time to help that horse with it. Another example I can give you is, just when I brought that horse home, I brought him home from a clinic, and because I've done this a lot, I was pretty concerned about how he might be when I get in the trailer with him and unload him. So I opened the slant gate, and that horse immediately flew backwards, and he was still tied. He hit the end of the lead rope and jumped forward and hit the top of my trailer and skinned his face up. Okay, that's another spot that horse has in him that has been put in there by somebody and left in there his whole life. And another instance, I knew a lady that had a horse that had similar issues. It wouldn't tie. When you backed it off a trailer, you had to untie it, open the gate, and get out of the way because it was flying off the trailer. And in this particular case, the horse was in a 2-horse straight load. She opened the back gate, and the horse started running backwards. The butt bar was still hooked up. And the horse stepped out of the trailer and got wedged under the butt bar and had to be put down because it messed itself up. And I worked with that horse on a couple of different occasions, and I knew that horse was that way, and I think the owner knew it was that way, and for whatever reason, the owner chose to not address those issues, and then that's the result of not helping the horse with those issues. I did a tying video with a Mustang not long ago, or about a year ago, and I got criticized by some people for tying that horse solid. Well, I tied the horse solid because the horse wouldn't be tied. It would pull back, and yes, anything can happen at any time. But had that lady addressed the issue with that horse backing off the trailer, that horse would still be alive today and probably be a very usable animal. So I'm of the mindset that anytime I find troubled spots in these horses, it's only fair we address those spots and try to alleviate those spots from the horse. There's no point in letting our horses live life with that kind of crap still in them. And if we're any kind of horse person at all, and we care anything about the horses, we should be just anxious to find those spots and help get those spots worked out. Number one, for the safety of our horses. Number two, for our safety. And number three, because it is the right thing to do. And yeah, you can tie a horse solid and it can set back and it can pull all kind of ligaments and whatever, but you can lead it out of the stall and it can fall and break its leg. So it doesn't matter. If the horse has issues, I'm going to address those issues in a compassionate, as humane a way as I possibly can, and I'm going to do my best to try to alleviate those issues to whatever degree I can alleviate them. So I worked with a young horse this morning. It's a horse that's unstarted, and it had some issues with the flag, and another person had been working with this horse and just hadn't brought the energy level up to the point that it needed to be to bring out these fear issues that this horse had. And this lady is going to start this horse, and I think that all this stuff needs to try to be taken care of before I ever swing a leg over a horse. And that's why once the horse starts to understand the saddling process and the flag in a casual, gentle manner, I'm going to turn the heat up on it and let it learn to deal with that pressure situation, because I know when I get on the horse, anything could happen at any given time. And if I've always, took little baby steps and snuck around the horse and not done anything to cause it any kind of grief or stress, and then I get on it and something causes it grief or stress, it's going to be a bad day for me. So I'm going to try to bring out all that stuff in the horse and do it in a way that makes the horse get better. Yes, you can do that same thing that I did, but your presentation can be different and it can have a reverse effect. And I'll say this again, I've said it multiple times in other videos. If you don't know what you're doing, get somebody that does, because you can screw your horse up just as easily as you can help them. But anyway, the main point is there's lots of horses that have fear, anxiety issues in them, and for whatever reason, those issues are never addressed and resolved. And so whoever's watching this video, if y'all have had any kind of experiences like this with horses, send a comment and let me know what you think about this subject. But that's my thoughts, and I just think that way because I think it's the best thing for the horse. The horse deserves better than have to live their life with all that stuff in